Well, 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 the plot doth thicken. I tell you, you can't look at the news and think, I know what's going to happen next with the Epstein case. I know it's everywhere, and it's more of a US-based thing at the moment. It's not, well, Prince Andrew's not, is he? Well, I don't think he's UK-based at the minute. But it's all over the news, and, you know, I've done a few videos of it. I did one the other day, and it was all around, you know, his ex-attorney coming out, you know, saying, I'm not a piece of shit. Jeffrey Epstein was a piece of shit. But let's get some things clear. Yeah, we should release the files. But then you look at some of the articles and some of the books he's written in the past, and you think, and trying to be an apologist for Epstein because he had a relationship with somebody who was 17 years and 10 months. Like, oh, that's okay then. But don't get started on that. But apparently, new revelation, Jeffrey Epstein's brother has got dirt on Trump. Let's have a look.
The left is really pushing right now. I got literally it sent to me a dozen times this weekend. Did you see the emails between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark? Did you see? It's proof that Epstein was covering and had stuff on Trump as a, you know, his sex life.
I'm forever blowing Bubba. Who the hell's Bubba? Ask me Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba.
All right. Here's Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, joining us right now. Mark, I explained to people that you want to keep it on the phone because you're afraid of what's been done and threatened to you and your family. So I appreciate you sticking your head up to have this conversation.
That's okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Mark, just, you know, easy suggestion. This back and forth with Jeffrey, where he tells you that Bannon is with him, and you say, oh, great, ask him if Putin still has photos of Donnie T, I'm assuming President Trump, with blowing, which...
He hasn't said Donnie T. I mean, if you're going to paraphrase or quote emails, just quote the actual damn text. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba.
We all know what that means. Bubba.
Let me stop you here. I'm not discussing that email. This is a private email between Jeffrey and myself. There's two brothers talking. It's nobody's business what we wrote. The only thing I responded to is because people got crazy with the Bubba reference and they tried to pin it on Clinton. So I made a public statement that it was not any reference to Bill Clinton. I like Bill Clinton, and I'm sorry for him that he had to go through that.
Ah, well, if you like Bill Clinton, then that's fine. You know, Donald Trump, on the other hand's fair game. But when you were exchanging emails with your... I don't know. I don't know him, but when you were exchanging emails with your brother, did you ask him about whether he was blowing Bubba or having sex with underage girls or trafficking them?
But the email had nothing to do with Clinton, and that's my last word on that email. What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out of it. That's what I was told by a pretty good source. And
well, everyone can say that, can't they? I could say, yeah, a source, a really good, well-placed source, told me that Elvis is alive and is living with basically, you know, the lizard people on Mount Michael Jackson. Doesn't make it true just because he's saying a good source has told me. Big claims, big evidence.
Well, look, do you believe that? Do you believe? Hold on, Mark, hold on a second. Two things. One, if you don't want to talk about it, all right. Obviously you believe it. You just said it, but
this guy's a nightmare to fucking interview, isn't he?
All right, but Mark, hold on a second. Let me ask you a question.
Jeffrey did not commit suicide. That's my focus. I don't care about the files. Jeffrey's dead. So I don't care of the implications of the files. That's other people's problems. My brother did not commit suicide, and we're finding more information to prove that he didn't commit suicide. So the question becomes, who killed him?
Well, you seem upset about your brother. You don't seem upset about the fucking victims, though, do you?
Who had him killed? I mean, Bill Barr is key to this cover. He's come up with so much bullshit.
I mean, I don't for a second think that he killed himself. Absolutely not. No way do I think he killed himself. I even have reservations of whether he's dead in the first place.
Okay, and lies, demonstrable, provable lies. Okay, that
Mark.
either he's covering it up or he's stupid. What?
All right.
All right, this guy is very, very angry, isn't he? Just you give an opportunity here to say your piece and to have your say, and you come on here and you're just basically ranting and being confrontational. Saying, who killed my brother? Oh, he was such an innocent man.
So, one thing at a time. We've discussed the fact that you don't think your brother killed himself on the Chris Cuomo Project on my podcast. People can go check out that conversation. You know, the head of the FBI and his number two, both of who used to suggest exactly what you are, says now that they've looked at everything, there is no proof that it was anything but suicide. Kash
Right,
Patel,
right there.
Dan
Stop
Bongino.
Right Stop right there. They didn't look at anything. There was never a suicide-capable a homicide-capable investigation done. They called it a suicide early on to stop the investigation. If you read the DOJ report, it's all about the screw-ups.
I can't imagine he killed himself because he was so well placed and had so many connections, and probably, he could have outed a lot of people if they didn't help him. And yeah, I can't imagine that he would have done, to be honest. There's too many coincidences. Like, footage was scrubbed and cameras weren't working.
The jails.
Bollocks.
Camera's not working. Guards not doing their job. It doesn't address the issue of the cause of his death. And it was misrepresented as a suicide because they didn't want to investigate. And more information.
So you're accusing the head of the FBI in this administration of a cover-up?
Absolutely. He was the one who said in his testimony, you know a suicide when you see one. I had to laugh. How many suicides has that jackass seen? Okay? He's not a doctor. He's not a pathologist. He never saw Jeffrey's body. He wasn't there, but he knows a suicide.
Well, he's certainly changed.
I mean, I've got two brothers, right? And if one of them did loads of things wrong and then died in mysterious circumstances, I'd probably be angry and want to know the reason why. But at the same time, I'd be like, don't make out like, who killed my brother? He was such a pinnacle of society or whatever.
His story.
At no point is he mentioning the victims.
About it, but I want to ask you one other thing, okay? And I get it, you don't want to talk about it. It was a private back and forth with your brother, fine. But it is being used as proof that your brother had compromised information about Donald Trump. Is that what you are referring to, and is that what you suspect?
No, Jeffrey, in 2016, I said this publicly before, Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. Right?
He said candidates. So, yeah, he had dirt on Trump, but did he have dirt on Harris?
And you could see in the emails, Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear.
Was it Harris, or was it the election before? Timings are all wrong.
I mean, everything Trump says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about.
It's provable that he was in Jeffrey's office. He said he wasn't in the house. It's provable he was there. He said everything he says is a lie.
Wait, I don't think there was any. I don't think anyone's saying that he wasn't in the house. Just obviously wasn't involved in any wrongdoing.
But
I'm not saying he is or not, to be honest.
That's not what you were talking about in the text thread. You don't know of any information that he had.
I'm not discussing that email.
Who's Bubba? Who's Bubba? I know there's a chewing gum called Bubba. Bubba. And the guy off Forrest Gump, but I don't think he's blowing the guy off Forrest Gump.
Did you know or ever see any evidence that your brother had against Trump? Did you ever see any or hear any?
Just he told me he had it. He wouldn't tell me that if it wasn't true.
And
right. So you're having a tete-a-tete with your brother, and your brother's going, oh, I've got some dirt on Donald Trump, I've got some dirt on this person, I've got some dirt. Yeah, and you're just exchanging emails and having a good pleasantries. If that was my brother, I'd be like, you better stop that shit now. That's fucking wrong. It's illegal, and I don't want to be involved whatsoever in any of that. Thank you. This guy sounds like he couldn't give two shits, and he still conversed with his brother on who he had dirt with. Was he conversing as well on any of the other dodgy shit Epstein was involved with?
How do you explain that it never came out and that Ghislaine Maxwell has never talked about it?
Well, yeah, she got a pretty sweet deal, you know.
She's in prison.
I'm not trying to hurt Ghislaine, but you know, one of the things I found interesting in her testimony is when she was asked about other people. You know, she said they were involved, they didn't do anything. But when she was asked about Trump, she went on at length about he was always a gentleman, he's always professional. And I said, why is he getting this special treatment of exoneration? And the other people, she just said, well, they didn't do anything.
Well, there's two possible reasons for that. One, he didn't do anything wrong, and two, yeah, she's trying to protect him because he's probably said we could make you a deal or do some dodgy stuff for you further down the line. It's who you believe because there's no evidence to the contrary. All you could take is testimony, a testimony of Maxwell, a testimony of was it Guthrie, the lady who unalived herself for the algorithm. Rest in peace. Also didn't say anything negative about him.
So, you know, even her lawyer said they cut a deal. So that's why I believe she said those things. Okay.
Did you know that your brother was talking to members of Congress during hearings?
No. Jeff and I didn't do business together. He didn't tell me those things.
Mark, I appreciate you giving your perspective. Thank you for doing it. And I understand you think it's a risk to you and the family. So thank you for taking the opportunity.
You're welcome. Good luck. I have to go. Thank you. Bye.
Well, I know it's a risk to you and your family coming out and saying these things, but yeah, at no point did you come out there and say, you know what, my brother was a very imperfect man who committed some right atrocities, and the reason why I'm upset is because, yeah, he did these evil things. He's still my brother, and I think someone murdered him, and I want to know the truth. No, it's like, oh, Trump's evil, he's guilty, my brother said he's got dirt on him, and yeah, Maxwell got a sweet deal. She's in prison, like he said. So what sweet deal did she get there, really? The fact that she's alive, maybe that's a sweet deal.
All right, that's the brother. For what it's worth, this back and forth that's being used as proof that Trump had something with some guy named Bubba, he was joking.
Yeah, so that was his brother. No mention of the victims, no mention of the wrongdoing that Epstein did. Just, yeah, I was joking about some guy called Bubba who Trump apparently had sexual relations with, which was a joke. The only testimony or the only evidence he's seen that Trump was involved in any of this was that Epstein, his brother, basically said so. Maxwell apparently had a sweet deal, even though she's in prison. Yeah, I don't know what to take about that, to be honest. As somebody who's got two brothers, I could understand that if I thought that my brother was murdered and he did some really terrible things, in the back of my mind I'd be going, right, I still want to know the truth. Someone's got away with it here. But I wouldn't have the same outrage knowing that there were loads of victims out there suffering because of this. So I can't quite make him out. Anyway, let me know what you think, this ongoing saga. And I know there's a vote at the moment in Washington related to the Epstein files. So no doubt we'll see what comes at the back of that. Wherever you are, I hope you have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.